Hi all, in this video I'll talk about missing textures from files that you receive from time to time. Probably not this file, but it's being displayed okay. But from time to time you would receive a file and then it behaves a bit weirdly. Even though all the textures are there, like in this scenario I have standard and default shading, but none of the textures are being loaded. The first thing is to check if your display, your GPU driver is being updated. Mine is pretty recent. There's an update recently, but I'm gonna have to wait for the weekend to install it later on when I'm not using the computer that much. And the second is going to customize preferences, and in the viewport tab, check if you have the correct display driver. So in my case I have a GTX 1080, and I picked the Direct 3D 11, which is what it's recommended. And if that doesn't solve your problem, maybe sometimes you can pop it up to high quality to check if the textures are being loaded. Or alternatively, to make sure that they are loaded correctly, you press Shift T to open the asset tracking. So in this case, as you can see, all of these are being found instead of being loaded in the file. To actually get it to load, you highlight it and you can right click or just go into path, set path, and remember that file name, which is right there, because you need to find the correct name of the file so that it loads correct sequentially. So in this case is 100.162 texture.png. I'll update the path. This is my where I store it on my computer, so I'll just press OK, and now it's being loaded correctly into my file right here. So you would have to do it one by one for all this, but I happen to find a very cool script called Relink Bitmap by Colin. And the way you install it is by going, it's just by dragging this .mzp file onto your 3ds Max session, and then go to customize. On the toolbars tab, in the category drop down bar, you find Colin script, and then drag it onto your toolbars to have the button. Sometimes you have to add a new toolbar so that you can pop it up there. But it's really good. It's worth it, since if you're working in rendering and loads a bunch of texture from time to time, which is what for me Max is for. That's what I use Max for, so it comes in really handy. I just press this, and that indicates that I am not loading a whole bunch of textures in this 3ds Max file. So to update that, I'll go into browse right here and scan the folder that I have the model. I deliberately rename it so that it doesn't load. I just select this folder you can ignore case and whatnot. A bit of more options, you know, if you happen to edit the file, the PNG or the JPEG, and save it as another file extension, you have that option to update it. Then I'll just press relink and wait for the plugin to do its things, and all my textures should be loaded correctly. After that, I can just close that, and to make sure that to prove to you that it is correctly loaded, I'll open the asset tracking again by pressing Shift T, and I'll refresh this whole thing and see if it's, yep, as you can see they're all loaded with the latest file path, and they're all loaded correctly. So yeah, voila, you got all your texture loaded. Thank you. I'll see you in the next video.